This shower valve started leaking the other day. It's in the upstairs bathroom, so it came through the kitchen ceiling. So I did have to cut 2 holes in my drywall behind the shower to be able to access the pipes. It was leaking at this joint right here. Unfortunately, I didn't have any shut-off valves for this shower, so I had to shut the main water off, and I installed this 1/2-inch shark bite shut-off valve. So now I've cut all my pipes to be able to take this valve out. I used this 1/2-inch circular pipe cutter to do it. Now I'm taking off the front of the shower. I just pried a little cap there that was covering that screw. I removed that screw and pulled the knob off. And then the plate, my plate had 2 screws that I had to remove. And now the valve can be pulled out the back. So if it was supported by a board, you could try to unscrew it through the front right here. But mine was just kind of floating in there, so I just took it out the back. So here I'm going to take the shower valve and I'm going to wrap this Teflon tape around all the threads. I'm also going to use some pipe dope. I'm going to connect it to this 1/2-inch female adapter so that way I can use my PEX pipe and the crimp clamps that I have. So now I'm wrapping the tape around the threads. I'm starting at the back of the threads and I move forward. I'm also wrapping it in a clockwise direction. I'm also pushing the tape down into the threads for good contact, and then I'm going to repeat this process on the other 3 sides. So here I'm just removing the plaster guard from the front of the valve body. Now I'm going to use these 1/2-inch threaded female adapters and attach them to the valve body so that I can connect my PEX pipe. Before I do that, I'm also going to spread some pipe dope on top of the Teflon tape just for a better seal. So now I'm taking my female adapters and I'm threading them onto my valve body, twisting it in a clockwise direction, and then I'm going to take my channel lock pliers and twist it tight. I'm going to repeat this same process for the other 3 sides. Here I'm going to go ahead and connect some PEX pipe to my stub out elbow. I'm going to connect it using the Shark Bite crimp clamps and the iCrimp tool that I got off of Amazon. I'll put a link below. I'm also using this PEX pipe cutter so I get a clean, straight cut. I have another video that goes in depth on the iCrimp tool and how to use it, but essentially what you do is put one of the crimp clamps on. I'm going to connect it to the stub out elbow. I'm going to take the clamp and move it about 1/4 inch from the end of the PEX pipe, and then I'm going to use my tool to clamp it shut. Now I'm going to use this wire brush to prepare the end of my pipes. I'm going to clean the outside and the inside of the pipes using the wire brush. This just removes any burrs or any imperfections that could keep the Shark Bite fitting from making a proper seal. Here I'm marking my insertion depth for my Shark Bite push to connect fittings. I'm marking 1 inch from the end of the pipe with a Sharpie marker. That way I know that the fitting is seated completely once I put it on. I'm going to take this Shark Bite fitting, I'm going to push it straight down onto the pipe all the way until I reach my insertion depth mark. I'll repeat the same process for the other pipe. You can't really see it, but there's another connection up here in the wall that leads up to my shower head, and I had to put another push to connect fitting on that as well. This valve body will have 2 PEX pipes coming off the sides, making a 90-degree turn to go down to meet the copper PEX pipe. So I'm going to use this 90-degree elbow that goes with the PEX pipe and the crimp tool. So here I've cut all my pipes and I'm just doing a test fit. I've already taken the PEX pipe and I've connected them to my Shark Bite push to connect fittings. And now I'm just making sure everything lines up before I crimp my clamps shut. So now all of my crimp rings are clamped shut and I'm finished with all the plumbing work that's in the wall. So the plaster guard that came with this valve needs to sit flush with the shower wall. So right now I have a circle cut out, but I'm going to have to cut almost an oval out. So I'm going to use this plaster guard. I'm going to trace around it. I'm going to use my Dremel tool to cut through this fiberglass wall. So now I'm going to cut my stub out. The direction said I can cut it anywhere from 1 inch to almost 3 inches. So I'm going to mark it at 2 inches and I'm going to use my 1/2 inch pipe cutter to cut it off. I'm now going to leak test the valve and all of my connections. So I'm going to connect the handle, and then I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to turn the main water back on. Now the water's turned back on. I'm just going to check and make sure that it's running correctly. I'm going to go around to the back and double check all of my connections to make sure there are no leaks. Now I'm reinstalling the plaster guard using the screws that it came with. Here I'm putting on the faucet. It just slides onto the copper pipe, and then it has a little hex screw on the bottom that you'll tighten to keep it in place. The previous valve body didn't have anything to attach to, but the plaster guard didn't sit flush with the finished wall, so it gave the counter pressure that it needed. So I'm going to have to put some blocking behind these because I don't have the studs in the right places to put a block on the back side, so I'm going to have to wedge blocking in front of the pipes. Here's a picture of what I ended up doing. I just took 3/4 inch plywood and some wood shims and some construction adhesive, and I put them in front of the pipes. You can see that I've already attached the escutcheon plate. It just attaches with 2 screws. I'm also going to attach the handle, and it just slides on and is locked down with a little hex screw on the bottom. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.